If you want to import data in Odoo, the first thing you need to do is to activate the data import. And this is done by clicking on Settings and General Settings. And here you have Import Export, allow users to import data from CSV files. When this is done, you click on Apply. To show you an example, I will demonstrate how you can import products into Odoo. So let us go into the sales and I click on Products. You need to change to the list view first. And here you see the list view. And you see there is a button Import. If you click on this button the first time, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So the best thing is to select exactly one product that has all the criteria that you want, and you click on More, they just appear, and you do Export. So now you are on the Export module. So you have two export types. You have an export types that is called Import Compatible Export. So this is mainly done to import, to export and re-import, export and re-import. And you have the Export All Data, where you have much more information than in the other mode. To simplify, in most of the cases you would just need the Import Compatible Export. The export formats are either CSV or Excel. If you need to export just to give data to somebody in an Excel format, then you would choose Excel. But if you need to create a template for importing your product, you would prefer to use the CSV. So now, here on the left side, you have the list of fields that you can import. Of course, you should know what these fields mean. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. So it's important that you really know what these fields are. So I'm going to start with the field name. This is the product name. I click on this, double click, or I press Add. Then the next information that is mostly used is the product type. I click on product type, I click on Add. And I have, let's say, the other information will be the internal category and the inventory valuation. And if you already have the barcode, you may export the barcode to re-import it, and also the costing method and the cost price. So now, basically, you are ready to export. It is important when you do export that you always try to save the file lists, because you may have missed something, and if you have many fields that you have selected, you would rather go from the file list and add the field that you are missing, or if you need to change one field, it's easier. So I click on Save Field List and I give a number 1. So now I have a save export that is called 1. Let us do the export. So I click on Export to File. What happens is I have a file that has been created immediately. You see this product template number 1. The number 1 is because I already had downloaded the product, and add the name product template.csv. The next one is product template 1, the second product template 2, etc., etc. So let us have a look at the file. Now I go to Excel. You are not forced to use Excel. You can use whatever system you want. And here it comes. So I will explain now what you have in this file. The first field is always an ID. And what is an ID? It is a unique identifier of whatever information you have in the file. Each line will have a separate ID. It means that the product named Bag LC is identified internally by Odoo with the ID product template 10. I don't see this information when I'm online, but the system has this internally. So this is going to be used later for re-import. For this reason, it is really important to understand that you never should touch this ID number unless you know exactly what you're doing. The second field is the name. You remember I selected a bag. The third field is the product type that I choose. It is a stockable product. And then I have the product category, and this time you see that I have also an ID. It is called product category underscore all, and this is the identification for a product category that is called all. The valuation type is real time. I have nothing in the EAN, and the cost method is called real price, and my standard price is empty. The question is, how do I prepare now my file to be imported? I'm going to show this to you now. Let's say I have shampoo 23. The type of product is also a stockable product. The category is also the same category, and everything is the same, but I already have a standard price. It's going to be £12, and I have the EAN number. And this is my EAN number. In Excel, you know you need to put this as general address number, and you take away the decimals. So I have my shampoo, but the question is, what is my ID? In this case, I don't have an ID. So let us try to import the material this way. I will save this, and this is specific for Macintosh users. When you save, you need to save as Windows, separated CSV. If you save it as a standard CSV, Odoo will not understand it. So I save this as product template 1, and I say yes, you can replace it. Now let us go back to Odoo. I can close this, and now I want to import. If I want to import, I just go into the list view and I click on import. I can choose the file. Now the system is reading my file, and what he does is that here he has seen that there is an external ID. He uses the first row as the label. So here I have my product shampoo. Everything seems quite good. And now, before importing it, I should do a validation. I do a validation, and the system will tell me whether it is okay. In this case, everything seems to be valid. So what I'm going to do is, instead of immediately importing the data, I want to add a second line. And now I will put the field of X, and here I will copy all the things, but I want to do two things. First, I want to put any number here, and here I would do, instead of writing stockable product, I would just write stockable. I can save this file, and I go back to Odoo. Now I don't need to choose the file again, I just need to press refresh. The system is gonna reload the file. So now you see the third is immediately here. It looks quite good. Let's see what says the validation. I validate. And this is what happens when something is wrong. The system tells me value stockable not found in the selection product type at row 4. Here are the possible values: stockable product, consumable, or service. So I can go to my file and choose one of the valid selection. In this case, consumable. I update this, I save it. When I have not so many data like this, I can do small changes, but in general, you would tend to do all the corrections before you reload. So now I can reload. The reload is okay, and now I validate. And now I have another mistake. Unknown error during import. So he says there is a problem during import. The EAN failed against the constraint. You provided an invalid EAN barcode reference. So the system does the following. He does something as if he would process the full product, but he doesn't save it. So if he would process the product, he would have a mistake when entering the EAN number. For this reason, he tells me he has a problem with the EAN number. So because I don't need this EAN number, I'm just going to delete it and save it again, and we continue. So let us reload and validate. Now everything seems to be alright. Let us go on with importing. I do the import, and now I should have a product called Filofax, and the product is here. The product is a consumable, as I said. In procurement, I put the cost price as 140. The cost price is also correct. And I put the accounting as an internal category as all, and this is correct. And even the inventory valuation comes as real-time automated. So you see, the system has very nicely imported all my data. This is the first part of the import. Oh, by the way, the shampoo here has also been imported. So now I will show you what you can do if you have imported a lot of data, especially for the product type. You have imported data and you put them as consumable, and you just realize, oh, it's all wrong, it should not be consumable. I need to change them all.